Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Stock Market Morning Prep video for Thursday, December 11th. Well, we continue to get weakness in the markets. We've identified that as tax selling season, which is usually the first week of December, going into December 15th or so, give or take a day or so. What's also helping this weakness is obviously crude oil and oil stocks continually getting beaten up. I mean, we're down 30-40% in some of these stocks. And they are looking very, very interesting. We are coming into some seasonal strength in the energy stocks now, the names, the energy names. Oil, we start picking up momentum as far as seasonality, end of January, beginning of February. So I'm looking at some nice plays for January for some stocks that we're going to be watching. But I want to show you, I want to talk about crude oil first. And also, another reason why is the dollar. Obviously, the dollar's been selling off of that double top, that weekly double top that I showed you. But I do think the dollar will play an important role in 2015 for trading. And that's something that you guys are going to need to obviously continue to look at and do your analysis off of the dollar. Okay, so let's go right into the energy sector and crude oil. I've gotten a lot of emails asking about crude. What do you think we should buy it? Is it a buy right now? Well, first of all, I want to tell you that crude is in a major downtrend. And if you are not, what's the word I'm trying to use? If you're not easy to trade counter trend, then I would not at all trade crude oil. Okay, and it's important because if you're not that type of trader that can trade that counter trend trade, I would definitely not be trading this. Okay, however, for those of you who are accustomed of trading counter trend and don't mind a little volatility and have the experience, then I'm going to show you something where I've been watching, and I've showed you many times as well. I think I've said to you before, I showed you this chart, this bullish percent. I showed you this many times. I've also showed you the bullish percent, SPX, and of course the banks and the financials. So there's a lot going on, and I want to show you this here. This is particularly the bullish percent energy sector. And what I'm saying is the energy sector is very important. And reason why? Well, why is it important? Because it plays an important role in our economy and worldwide. So the bullish percent, as you can see, is now at about 4.5%. Whenever it gets down to these levels, okay, this is very important. Whenever it gets down to these levels, you usually get a decent bounce, a very good bounce in whatever the sector that you're looking at. In this case, is BPR energy. Okay, so this is a very big, important area here. I would like to see a flush today and into the 5 handle, and anywhere between 58 and 59, I would start nibbling in crude, and I would start looking at some crude stocks, such as some of the integrated names, and even some of the other players, such as the oil services, and even possibly the drillers. But I like ConocoPhillips. That's coming into some seasonal strength. I like NOV, National Oil Well. That's two of my favorites. And Hess, Amerada Hess, the HES. That's another great stock to be looking at, building a small position slowly. Okay. All right. So now let's take a look at the bullish percent SPX. Now this has actually crossed yesterday, producing a sell signal. Now we do get some whipsaws. So this needs to separate from that 8 a little further before I can actually say, okay, we are now full-fledged in a sell signal, okay? So let's keep an eye on that. And again, guys, remember, another reason why I like the crude oil trade is because they're going to close their bets going into the triple witch on Friday. Now, obviously, crude oil could sell off between now and Friday every single day, so keep that in mind, all right? I do like that trade a lot, all right? But we need to pick our spots for that. All right, now let's take a look at some of the indexes here. I want to show you a couple things here. This is where I want to show you that we are still susceptible for some down moves in the markets, and this is one right here, being the NDX. We're still way elevated here at 83%. Stocks above the 50-day moving average. All right. Now take a look at the McClellan oscillator reading negative 58. We have plenty of room to run before we are extremely oversold. Okay, that's another thing. So just keep that in mind as well. Look at stocks above the 50, just starting to break now, but very, very oversold here, guys. Okay, you could see that stocks above the 50-day moving average, very oversold. Excuse me, overbought, but still plenty of room before we even get or some sort of an oversold reading. Okay, now that you want to show you the trend is still intact here. You know, we're coming into some seasonal strength, especially in the Russell, and I'll show that to you in a moment. But we are coming into some seasonal strength here. I do like the fact that we're still in this uptrend. We're still rolling along up here, and I think that even if we get a pullback to the 200 area in the spiders, I think that you can easily run back up again and try to challenge those highs. And my target in ES right now is going to be 2100 to 2130. That's going to be my target in the ES for the end of the year, somewhere around that area. I don't see the markets really selling off until the first quarter, okay, unless obviously something changes. Okay, daily chart, just want to show you now we're back to that 50-day. I mentioned we broke the 20. Next target would be the 50. This is really a critical juncture right here, guys. 200, call it, right in this area, which would be 2,000 in the S&P, the E-minis. This is very critical. If this breaks this level, then I think all bets are off to the upside, and I think we continue to see some selling and possibly even testing that 200-day moving average. All right. So this is a critical juncture right here. That is exactly where this area needs to hold in the SPY and of course the ES. Call it 2,000. Okay. Diamonds, same thing here. Diamonds now testing that 50, which is the Dow Jones. This is the area here. We're going to need to really hold this area, and that's that gap up from November 1st. That's going to need to hold. Otherwise, I would look for some further weakness. So I'm going to be watching these levels closely. Transports here. Now, the transports, which is our leader, is in trouble. We took out the previous low, this local low. Now we're back and we're testing that 50. If the transports continue to start really selling off, guys, then I think that the markets in general are going to have no way to go but down, and it's going to follow the transports. All right. Right now, that's not the case. We need to keep an eye on what's going on with the transports, and of course the energy sector, and of course the IWM. Now, IWM is coming into some seasonal strength, and usually right after triple witching, sometime next week, IWM usually catches a decent bid, and we can probably break out of here. If the IWM breaks out, and we get stabilization in crude oil, along with the transport starting to revert back up, then I would probably be safe to say that the Santa Claus rally is in full effect. All right, and that is what I'm looking for going into next week. We need stabilization in the transports, crude, and of course a breakout in the Russell. If that happens, I think all bets are off to the downside, and we will challenge the highs at year end. Right? And lastly is the Qs you can see here going into that. And that's that critical level that we need to hold here. Write those levels down, guys. That's going to be really important, okay? Hope this all helps. This is a very important video going into next week. So I hope it all helps. And any questions, please feel free to email me. Have a great day, everybody.